Tusa Azan. Hope you're doing great. So today we are talking about you are more than enough. Hello everyone. So I'm waiting for Branka to join me on this live audio event. The initial invite, I don't know what happened. LinkedIn just always does crazy stuff. You click one thing and then before you know it, everything has gone to places. Waiting for Branka to join me on this live. Hello, my Instagram family. I'm currently on LinkedIn and I am going live with a colleague of mine on LinkedIn. We're talking about, how to use your emotions to harness your power and to become a better version of yourself. So, Tusa. Hi, Tusa Hassan. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Tusa. How are you doing today?
Nice to meet. I'm also fine. Basically, I'm from Bangladesh.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. How to obtaining that? What is life? I'm not sure about that. Just I saw your notification. Then I will connect it with you. Okay.
Okay. So my guest is here now. So I'm going to have to mute you right now. All right.
I have a second question. Today we will know how to. We will learn today this life. Can you explain me? Embody, can you hear me?
Okay. Hi, Branka. Can you indicate to join me, please? Okay, good. Hi, Branka.
Hello, hello.
Hello,
Do you
hello.
hear me?
How you doing, Branka?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
A little bit of breathing, and I just added the new link on the post because I want it to be open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank you for doing that because it's just crazy. I don't know what happened. It just I think I was trying to go on and then the LinkedIn was asking me, okay, do I want to start? And I said no, and then it just ended the event. Unlike what happens on other platforms.
I don't know. Let's leave it to the technology and let's explore what we can.
Yeah, at least we are here now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. So I'm live right now with Branka Pestar. How do you pronounce the remaining part of your name? Hajšek.
It's Branka Pestar Hajšek.
Hajšek. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, it's okay. Just Branka. Don't complicate it.
Okay, just Branka. That's good. Thank you for helping me. So Branka, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And why are we here today?
Yeah, so I am empowerment coach.
Okay.
I'm on a mission to transform the way we see emotions so that we can reveal the power and potential of humanity.
Okay.
So, speaking in more simple terms, I am helping people to understand emotions, seek the power we have within them, and translate those stories we have inside so that we actually make an impact long term when we are doing self-growth and so on.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, Branka, what's your story? How did this start for you? Why are you in this space? because I think we discussed this, and you shared a very powerful story with me, and I hope you don't mind sharing with the audience, so that everyone, you understand, so that they can have an idea of why it's so important to talk about our emotions and all of that.
Yeah, I'm glad to, because it all starts with a story, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everything starts with a story.
Yeah, we have it. And for me, it was basically when I was 18 years old, I had all figured out and planned, and I believed that this was my path. But then it came really hard chronic pain. It was exhausting. It made me stop my study. It made me stop basically every part of my life.
Wow.
And it was not just the pain. This aftermath of everything you experienced made me frustrated, anxious, depressed, and it was hard. So when the traditional medicine didn't offer me any useful solutions for the long-term situation, I started to explore things. And even before that, I was very much observant and curious about humans, about how we behave, how we experience things, and so on.
Okay.
But when this situation happened, I really realized how important it is to know our emotions and to actually explore them, accept them, regulate them, because I didn't know that. Wow. Nobody taught me that. So yeah, that was basically the start, and then all filled out from the management that I love. I love business. I love management. I started it. I wanted to go corporate, all in. But yeah, things changed, and I believe it's for a reason. So this is why I do what I do.
Wow, that's awesome. So what was the genesis of the pain? What exactly was the reason why you were having those pains? And, from a woman's perspective, a lot of us can relate with, having periods monthly and all of those kind of things. So what exactly was causing your own pain?
It was endometriosis.
Oh, okay.
And it's now, like it's ending the woman month, this month, March, is also a month of endometriosis awareness.
Yes.
And it's important to realize it, and many people still don't know it. But yeah, it's basically a hormonal disease. It's complex disease. It can affect basically all over your body, but it starts in your uterus.
Oh, okay.
So it's connected with different parts of life, and many symptoms are considered normal. It's normal to have painful periods. It's normal to feel down. It's normal to, vomit when you have periods, but that's
really?
not normal.
It's not, doesn't sound normal to me. Wow.
Yeah, but many times women hear all this crazy stuff, or maybe just drink a little bit of wine and relax yourself, you will be fine. So it's a complex situation.
That's incredible. It's really complex. So how have you managed it over the years, and how did you now, discover that, okay, you can use, so was it that you used your emotions to heal yourself, or how did you, harness emotions to now, address this situation that you found yourself in?
It was an interesting journey, because it's a process like everything in life. And at first I was basically, ResearchGate was my gate. And I dived deeply in because I wanted to study the science behind it. There wasn't many informations in our language, so it was English research. And the more I dived deeper, the more I realized that the basically Western medicine does not have an answer. I started to explore different alternative practices.
Okay.
And to some extent, they were helping me, but it was not in full, because I was so resistant to the idea that emotions can have something in common with this pain. ever told me this deep connection there is. And when you are frustrated with pain and you are depressed from all the things that's going on, you're grieving about your past life, and now you're telling me just regulate your emotions and everything will be okay, or there's just trauma and unresolved. Okay, it is connected, and today I know that this connection exists and how this manifested it, but you cannot solve it at that level if you just hear about it. And this compassion was lost, and this understanding, I missed it. And now when I just released the book Human Empower Yourself, and in it, when I talk about compassion, I mentioned this very part because many times I believe that this information is expressed in a way that does not give space for compassion. And when you are down, when you are lost, I'm sorry, but you cannot hear it because you're frustrated and you're angry at it and you want to just scream, why are you talking to me like that? Why are you ignoring everything that's happening to me? You're a perfect victim. And I was in this victim state for quite a while. So it's a lot better when I integrated all those principles that I now teach in empowerment, because they really offer you this foundation. And you still have certain days when it's not okay, but the ratio is so much better and the quality of life is so much better.
Wow. That's really, really insightful. So what you're saying is that you need to just get to that point whereby you realize that, okay, if every other thing is not helping you, you need to help yourself from within yourself.
Yeah, and actually start listening, because what I found fascinating about emotions, and I didn't know back then, is that emotions are really communicating with you. And we learned to suppress them, you know. You have probably those situations because it's easier to ignore. It's safer for us to ignore. At the end of the day, it's all about survival. So we learned, how to push them back. But what I realized is that if we ignore them long enough, they will start knocking in terms of pain. So our body will start to communicate those emotions, and it will start communicate to us this message we are not hearing. And a lot of times this message is connected with I am not enough in some way. So I'm curious, how do you perceive emotions and these messages that we can receive from them?
So for me, because I was just about to say, like, okay, so when we just say emotions, there are, there are different ways in which we can process it. Like there is the emotion as there are different variants of emotions. When we have what's it called now, the positive emotions and the negative emotions. So I think the ones that you were talking about are the negative emotions that we don't want to feel. Emotions of anger, pain, frustration, depression, hopelessness, the whole 9 yards. I guess those are the emotions that you were talking about, isn't it?
That those are the ones that society tells us they are negative. I don't like the term negative. Okay. I use the term unpleasant.
Unpleasant, yeah.
Yeah, because they are not pleasant for sure, but they are essential. And if we look at them through the lens of negative, we are actually, our mind will label them as negative. It's much harder because here now we come to this connection. It's connection between the heart and the mind. It's not just the mind, it's not just the heart.
Okay, so they are unpleasant emotions, not negative emotions, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we okay, so now I think we have a better understanding of your journey and how you have been able to handle the endometriosis, and then now getting into emotions, and then being able to get to understand your emotions and know that they are unpleasant. So why do you think it's necessary for us to allow ourselves to, is it that we are going to just wish the emotions away, or we should allow ourselves to feel the emotions? And if we are to allow ourselves to feel the emotions, how should we process it?
First of all, I would say that it's essential that we learn how to make space for them, from the simple reason. If you are thinking in terms of piling up, I don't know, clothes piling up, or whatever it is that you are ignoring instead of cleaning, it will pile up. And this I don't know, this pile will become bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger. This is why we have, over time, humans have stronger and stronger reactions, frustrations, aggressions, because it is not addressed. And we spend a lot of energy to push it back instead of using it to actually observe and see. And what I like to explore and what I teach is that no, we are not digging deep and basically bleeding ourselves up. It's not the point. The point is that you flow with life, and as life, when you experience certain trigger, you basically identify this trigger. So one part of empowerment is described also in this map of power. It's ebook I created. It's for free for everyone who is interested. And it's actually helping you to stay in this situation right here and solve it without the emotional baggage of the past. Because I believe you know that when we are in those situations, we need to get ourselves back here, or we will react in ways that are not appropriate for the situation. So that's why it's important that we also take time and reserve time to self-reflect and to actually observe. So if I was triggered by some situation that happened, I write it down, and when I have time for self-reflection, I look at this journal, I look what triggered me, and I explore it. What happened? What was before, what was after, what was the story? And here we come to very important part. So it's emotional truth. So this is the truth that you have imprinted in your body. And this emotion is basically telling you. So now you can actually explore it and be the observer. And in those moments, you can actually start to explore your mindset and how do you have it programmed, what programs do you have in unconscious, and how you can reframe them. I like to say it's emotional translation, because you translate those stories into empowering ones.
That's incredible. So from what you've said now, you get like you're supposed to explore and observe, and it's a case of, when people find themselves in a particular situation, it's a case of they're either going to freeze, or they're going to take flight, or they're going to fight. So what you're saying is that we should stay in that, whatever it is that we're feeling, and stay and explore it, stay and fight for your sanity, for lack of a better way to put it. Like, because if you keep running, it keeps piling up. If you keep running, you are not addressing the issues, and then it will, like we say in Nigeria, it will wait for you in front. You understand? So if you keep your emotions unaddressed, and you keep you keep running away from me, you take flight from me, you take flight from me, by the time you get to the front and some things confront you that should even be trivial, it becomes a problem, because you don't even know how to manage your emotions. That's why sometimes people just erupt like volcano unnecessarily, when when they could, you understand, when in retrospect, if they had been working on addressing their emotions, like you said, oh, why did I feel this way? What triggered it? And then you write those things down, you journal about it, and then you reflect about it. Then that helps you to be able to know when those triggers come, then you know how to address them, you know how to manage them. You're able to even recognize situations up front before they happen or while they are happening, and know that, oh, this is where this would end. Okay, so I can guard my heart, and I can be able to, okay, respond and not react accordingly. I think that's really, really powerful. And I think that's the essence of this discussion. You are more than enough, and using the power of your emotions to assess your power and all of that. So from one of the things that you mentioned, while we were preparing to have this discussion, you said, let's explore why many beliefs feel so true, while in fact they are just unconscious programs wired in our brains, being activated by our emotional mechanism. So you ask some questions. You say, what wakes them up? Why is your power? Where is your power? How do you embrace it? And how do you break free? And that's really powerful. In another way of putting what you said, about many beliefs that you feel so true, is we can call them limiting beliefs. We can call them unconscious bias. We can call them things that you don't even know that you've been programmed with. And most of them is factor of environment, to what people said to you, the experiences that you've had. And so you unconsciously form an opinion about these things, and then it becomes your truth. Whereas there is so much lie and there is so much false in that thing that you have called truth. So I want you to break this down, and tell us about what wakes this kind of these beliefs that you feel they are so true, which they might not be true. And how do you get your power over them? How do you get your power over them? But because once there is this stronghold of these limiting beliefs, of these beliefs that we just program ourselves, once there is that stronghold, it's really hard to break free. They become more powerful, and that's the power of emotions. It becomes even more critical, and then it gets worse when you are unable to address the emotions when they are triggered. So you have the floor, Branka. Help us to address this.
Yeah, thank you. And I will connect it with what you summarized before.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to say and add that it's in those situations when we are triggered and we are still unable to stop ourselves and make up response instead of reaction.
Yeah.
There is compassion has a big role in it, because with empowerment we are learning that each experiment or each experience will be a little step further. Okay. So we cannot expect too much from us, but at the same time we need to observe them outside of situation.
Okay.
So in those situations, we need to stay present, and this is the process I will tell you right now. To stay present and to actually address the situation we have, acknowledging the person in front of us, what is happening right now, not in the past, not our assumptions, but what has happened right now, and what is the end result that is important for me. This gives us focus. This gives us space to actually be curious about what is happening now and address it from the more empowered space. And here we come to this that you asked, and it's really important element. Because like you said, we can name those beliefs whatever we want, basically. But in simple terms, yeah, we have two minds. We have conscious and unconscious mind. And in unconscious, we have programs that were programmed from the start of our lives. And many things are written there. And many things are, they are basically harming us in a way that we are self-harming because we are repeating them. It's in the program, and we have them. So many times people struggle because even if they identified the belief, I'm not enough, and try to address it with affirmations, with meditations, with visualizations. If the heart element is missing, this belief stays in certain levels of your body. So if you are basically trying to affirm it and you are repeating it, but you do not believe it and you do not embrace it with all of your heart, it will still come up. Why? Because our emotions have different layers. And they wake up depending on the situation and on our past experiences. So it's interconnected, and if some situation will be different, but still touches this core belief, I'm not enough, it will trigger us in a way that we will believe it. And what I want to say to level up this even more, it's that this belief of not enoughness is really hard to completely eradicate, because we live in a world that is constantly pushing in front of us all of those different elements and situations and pictures and options and offers and products that are subconsciously telling us, you're not enough, try this. You're not enough, pretty, try this. Wear this, do this, go there. And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it truly is. So what I like to do to actually help person address it is to go to the core emotional needs of being loved, accepted, and safe. But those three are internal. So when someone comes and has problems, it usually starts with I'm not enough and ends with I don't feel safe. I don't feel accepted. And that's a big one.
So where is our power in all of this?
Our power is hidden in every emotion. So if you put yourself in a situation when the anger kicks, you feel this energy in your body, do you?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And if you ride on it with reaction, you can make a catastrophe.
Yes, true. Very true, yes.
But if you use it as a catalyst, so with recognition, okay, I'm angry. I will not in a way that I want to be aggressive, but anger, it's protecting my boundaries. Somebody is valuing my boundaries. So I use it to express myself. No, I say it. And when we recognize it, it does not go out of control. We can stay in it.
Okay.
And let me give another example for guilt, for example. Women feel a lot of guilt, and it's interconnected with this I'm not enough, this, that, and I feel guilty of it or ashamed of it. And it's an emotion and feeling, basically, that can come up very regularly for a woman. And it's a message that tells her, you don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel accepted with what you are, with what you give. And when you get yourself in a present moment and you are reflecting, you're seeing this guilt and you're exploring this guilt, every time you observe it without pushing it away, you get certain energy and power that it has in it. Because in every suppressed emotion there is energy. And when we go to the power, it's in the present moment we can decide either we will go into the victim state or we will go into empowered state. And every emotion is basically their staircase. And anger, it's usually this catalyst that can bounce us way beyond all those unpleasant emotions. And that does not mean that we will not feel them. We still will, because they are part of us. But they will be less intense. Because now we understand it's in this emotional mechanism we learn this process of survival and how to stop it. How to make check almost instantly, how to make check, is this threatening my life or is threatening my ego? And if it's my ego who is threatened, I can let go of it. I can take a deep breath and slow down a little bit, and the 7 or 10 seconds of the first body reaction will go down, and it's a lot easier to react that way. Because one element that I didn't discuss right here, but it's also important to understand why this all is so connected.
Yeah.
When we are emotionally triggered, our brain is inaccessible. Do you have an experience that you said something really stupid or did really stupid that you regretted and asked yourself, why did I do that?
I think everybody has been at that point. You know, and and you know, there's something that I learned very early in life about, you know, the difference between response and reaction. You understand? So I think basically everything that you have said is choosing to respond as opposed to reacting. And I like the analogy about you know, what you said about, is this thing threatening to my life or is it threatening to my ego? So there are two different things. But it seems like we don't have enough training or understanding to be able to separate the two, which is why we end up, you know, destroying things or destroying relationships or saying things that we should not say inadvertently. Honestly.
Exactly.
Honestly, when
because
I'm listening to you.
Our brains are wired for protection. Until we explain to our brain and body that we are safe, this is our conscious power. And every burst we have of any emotion, basically, when we are triggered, only this question, this pause for, like I said, 7 to 10 seconds will calm down our body, will reassure that this is a situation that is tricky for us. And if we want to respond, we need to get to the neocortex. And our neocortex is accessible only when we calm down this amygdala we have. This is a fire center. I like to say it, first aid. They are protecting us. It's a center in our brain. And it's actually helping us to stay safe when we need to. But in this modern world with so much stress and so much pushes and so much offers, and like I said before, we are flooded with it, and our amygdala is tired. It's almost always on. And how would you operate normally? You cannot, because it's overreacting for so long time, and this is why people are burning out.
And you know, there was something I came across recently about use your brain properly. It's either you're using your brain to solve problems or you're using it to store problems.
Ooh, strong one.
Do you get, like, when I saw it, like, okay, all right, calm down right now. You're either using your brain to solve problem or you're using it to store problem. And you know, it just boils down to what you just said right now. You know, you are overloading the amygdala with a whole lot of rubbish, with a whole lot of things that you can actually, you know, just take 5 to 7 seconds to say, okay, is this life threatening or is my ego that I'm trying to protect with everything that actually matters? You understand? So I think we need to get to that point whereby, you know, we actually, you know, start, because like you said, the brain is a survival organism. you know, because if you're in an environment and your brain is constantly calculating everything, but if a tiger should show up, the way all the hormones in your body would everything would tear up, and then you'll be the fastest. You know, like there's something that we say in Nigeria, that you've known that the fastest man in the world is not the man that you see on track and field. This is not Usain Bolt. It is the man that is being chased by a lion. You understand?
Yes.
It's not that being chased by a lion or a tiger. That's the person that is the fastest person in the world.
Yeah, and it's okay. And this is why also we hear a lot about this positive stress. And yeah, on a short term, we are so much competent when we are under stress. A little bit of pressure, it goes into our veins, and it gives us extra energy. And that is okay. If something is piling up and we need to finish it, if something is coming, okay, we need to squeeze.
Yeah.
But what people are forgetting is that we need to also rest and regenerate and recover from it. And this recovery phase, this self-care, or whatever it is,
whatever it means to you,
this yeah, it's missing, it's judgmental, and for many people it's like you're not dedicated enough if you want to take, I don't know, evening off or something. And this is not okay. And this is pushing us out of balance in so many ways, and out of our power.
Yeah. And you know, you quoted something from Louis A, and he said you have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Come on. Tell us more about that. Because, you know, it's one thing for external factors to be the ones pushing our boundaries. But then there are some things that we have done that we have not even forgiven ourselves. And then we are holding ourselves ransom. And we are not even letting go of ourselves. So if you can't even forgive yourself to begin with, you know, if you are so critical of yourself, you know, like I was reading something yesterday and somebody said in the article, it said like, if, you know, okay, you know, it was about one particular psychologist. I can't remember his name, right? Jacques or something. He's a French psychologist, and he had something to do with the study of identity. And he was saying something like, so it was just like talking about the Christian philosophy about love, that love your neighbor as thyself. And he said, and you know, it was thought provoking, because you know, if you hate yourself this much, do you understand? Like you are criticizing yourself, and then you now extend that same hate, and that, you understand, like you can't even find it in yourself to love yourself. So you know, I can now you know, it's opened my mind to see the fact that, look, it makes it even more difficult for the world to actually have love. It makes it difficult for people to have love because they are even criticizing themselves already so much, so they can't even extend grace to the next person because they've not even extended any grace to themselves to begin with. So, and I think that in itself is a huge problem. It's a huge problem, because you're already holding yourself ransom. You're already, you know, making yourself handicapped, because you can't even do beyond, you can't give what you don't have.
That's it. And I like to say, when we are starting with empowerment, many people want to, how do I help them do this or feel this? And why can't I be happy if another does something beautiful to me? And here we come to the basic truth. Yeah, we all have capacity to feel all of emotions.
Yeah, we do.
But if we make space for happiness, we are able to basically feel it, and others will multiply it when they are connected to us, relating to us, whatever form. But if we are taking this simple but sad truth that a lot of people talk to themselves a lot more meaner that they will talk to someone they hate. It speaks a lot about how self-harmful we are. Because for me, it was also part of the journey that leaded to here where I am. Because I was always compassionate and kind to other people. I always liked to help. I always liked to help them solve certain situations, certain emotions and such. But I didn't know how to ask for this help for myself. And I didn't know how to do it for myself. I was kind to others, but not to myself. I was mean. It was horrifying. And it was interesting journey because I basically almost burned out from all this help, because I helped with endometriosis advocacy. I helped a lot of women with it, and we talked for hours, and what is happening, and how can I support you, and how can you build up, and so on, so on, so on. But I was lost, and I didn't see it. I some kind of believed it, that if I will do good to others, my problems will be magically solved. And it was not not at all. So yeah, it was interesting to learn that first of all I have to be kinder to myself, and try it. Because like you mentioned also forgiveness, for a long time I was basically admiring people who said I forgave others who did me hurt. And I was like, what? How can you do this? If this happened, I was so resistant to this idea, and I was basically admiring them. How can they? And then I came to the point when I realized, okay, I'm harming myself if I don't let go of this. Okay, I want, and I went through it. And what was the most shocking fact was that when I came through it, I found that it is even harder to forgive yourself. Forgiving everything you did, everything you said.
Why is it so? Why are we so hard on ourselves? Why is it so hard for us to forgive ourselves?
Because we were, it's part of our upbringing, and it's part of our culture and society we live in. Because our love was basically conditioned to the level of performance, to the level of commitment we gave, what we did, what we showed, if we were good kids, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's high expectations at home, maybe no expectations at all. A lot of situations happen in those first 7 years of human life, and those situations basically are encrypted in our subconscious. So we explain a lot of things, and it's basically what we can offer, for example, kids to feel less of it, is that we celebrate their uniqueness no matter what they do. So we celebrate effort, not just end result. We celebrate their characteristics, not just the fact what they did. Because, and even if they don't do it, even if they are not succeeding, that we are there for them, that we love them, not withholding the love.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about your upbringing, but with us, traditionally, it was, if you did something bad, get in your room and be there for a while. Or if you were sad, I many times heard, because I was sad, that I'm trying to make things up, and I'm trying to get something or something. It was, my pain was not seen. I was not important enough to have this time. And I understand from the point of parents that it's not always the time to address it. But if you never get that opportunity, it gets imprinted, basically.
Wow.
And it's something we need to do when we develop our brain fully. It's about from 20 to 25, we have full capacity, but that does not mean we cannot change them. We cannot rewire our brain. It's all possible, but yeah, we need to have our power included.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. So now I'm just looking at it like, is there a generational connotation to this trauma? Because everything that we've been talking about links to trauma at the end of the day. It links to when you are growing up, and then like you said, don't just reward the end result, reward effort also. Encourage children as you're growing up, in them even trying or attempting to do things, and that boosts confidence, and that helps them to know that they are more than enough. But if you keep telling a child, oh, why are you not like this person, why are you not like that person, then you just keep chipping away from their confidence little by little, and at the end of the day they grow up with none. So I think that is really, really a great point to note. But then what about talk about generational trauma, as in how is all of this interconnected?
It plays a big role in it. And before it, I just want to add some quote. It was Brené Brown. I'm not sure direct wording, but she said so perfectly, there is a big difference between sense of belonging and fitting in.
Brené Brown, right?
Yeah.
I love that woman. I love her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She explains it in so beautiful way, because this applies also to companies and all the other organizations that want to truly support well-being of people. It's not that you are forcing people to fit into the image you created for them, but it's to accept them as they are and shine on what they are doing good. And if we are focusing on the good will grow. This is many explanations we can have, but yeah, I want to touch this generational trauma you mentioned, and I believe that it's connected a lot because of that fact I just mentioned, that till the age of 7, every child is basically absorbing the world that is observing. So every interaction, every situation, it's just written. It's not thought about. It's not evaluated. It's just written inside. So all the situations that are happening at home, and as parents, we are natural, we are humans, and we mess up things. And when you are stressed, you are even more repeating certain patterns, because those are the moments that they come up the most, and it is transferring over and over again. And then we also have this ancestor situation of wars and such. In our country, in Europe, for example, it was World War had many influences on how people perceived and expressed and felt emotions, because a lot of them it was dangerous for people to, for example, if you just look at the baby, it was dangerous that the baby starts crying because they will discover us. And even today we are hearing the kid cannot cry, but the crying, it's a form of communication.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of interconnection in here.
Wow. So that's it. There's a whole lot to unpack there, but that's story for another day. But basically, like the suppression of voices, has a way of being passed along generations. There was a reason why they were telling babies not to cry those days. Like, they didn't want to get found. You understand? But why are you telling babies not to cry now?
It's I would say one funny story about my motherhood. Because I had many things I turned upside down, because I was really focused on brain development and emotional intelligence. And that is not something that is traditional.
Yeah.
upbringing of a child, and you get tested a lot about boundaries, about assertive communication and such, because it's important to you, but at the same time you don't want to disappoint or offend certain people that are you respect.
Society and culture. Call them by their name.
Yeah, but it was it was so hard, because when the child cried and they wanted to drive it, and I never went on a walk with my kid crying in the crib. If he was crying, I calmed him down and then I went over. And I don't mind, and I don't judge those who ride it, because there are situations that are stressful, but at the end of the day, almost always I found a reason why he was crying. One time his leg was not okay. Another time he was thirsty. Wow. And this crying was solved in like 5 minutes. So what I want to say and what I encourage is that many times we are afraid to confront emotions, because they seem so big and so confusing and so time confusing. But at the end of the day, we spend a lot more time resolving conflicts and frustrations because we didn't address them properly in the first place.
Wow, that's powerful. So it's just a case of like I said before, the case of taking flight, or you stay and fight, or you freeze. So many people have they are frozen. They don't even want to take action. They don't even want to do anything about that emotion. And some they just totally run away and just dump it on other people. And then some people stay and fight, but very few people stay and fight to maintain their sanity, or to actually be able to address what is going on their inside, and be able to filter it through the proper lens. And I think that's really, really instructive.
Basically we need those what I like to say often is that those survival mechanisms helped you survive once. They were beneficial to you in the past, and it's nothing wrong with having them. But what is important that we recognize them, that we become aware of them, that we actually can start recognize what patterns are there, what is happening inside of us, and even if we are not decided yet to look within, if we just train ourselves enough to stop this survival response and to actually acknowledge it and adjust to the situation right now, we won big time. We won big time, because you are not letting yourself to be overflown. The power of 7 seconds is basically when you are triggered internally and your body believes that it's in fight for survival. In those 7 seconds, you have amazing boost of all these internal chemicals that support you to run away, to hide, to freeze, whatever it is. But if you don't jump on any of the thoughts that come up, if you don't jump on them, and you stay in the center and stay grounded, you will be able to tell yourself what it is. So it's not life-threatening. I am safe. I am here. And this just happened and triggered me. If you just say it, I feel angry about this, in your mind, just acknowledging it, it will decrease. And this way, we are actually building up staircase to our neocortex, to our brilliance, to our mindset that we trained. Because you have it locked. Even if you trained it, you have it locked until you calm down this emotional element.
Wow. That's incredible. So as we are wrapping up and getting to the end of this discussion, can you talk about conscious energy? Like, where how should we channel our energy, like in a conscious way, in such a way that, because you've spoken about emotions and saying that, okay, you need to acknowledge them in such a way that you understand and acknowledge and say, okay, I'm angry right now. Okay, and it is okay for you to feel that way, but how do you process it? How do you respond? How do you react? So can you talk about consciousness, like being when you are, because a lot of us react without even thinking about it, because we are not even our response are usually default mode. They are usually unconscious,
automatic.
exactly, automatic. So how do we bring this into our consciousness and own our own power? Because I think that's where we can land this ship on that particular thing, because a lot of people are not conscious of their consciousness. They are just in default mode. Everything they do is in their subconscious, because they do not even understand that a lot of their wiring and a lot of their approach and how they show up in life is tied, to their upbringing, what somebody said to them, what they believe, all of those foundational things. So bring us, to that place of consciousness where we are consciously conscious or, because we can hear, you understand, because we can hear all of these things, and some of us have come across this, some of us have never heard of this. So but just bringing that into our consciousness to say, like, okay, you need to activate your consciousness and open the flow, because the power is on the inside, it is not external. The power is not external, because many people, when they react, they say, it is because this person annoyed me now, it's because this person said this to me now. You understand, like, I'm using Niger intonation right now. You understand, like, people just want to blame everything external, they want to blame every other person for what they do. But from everything that we have said, the power is on the inside. The power resides with you. What you choose to do within 5 to 7 seconds, that's if you even give yourself the grace for the 5 to 7 seconds to be able to actually make that action. So you have the floor, Branka.
Yeah, thank you, because this is really profound for the end.
Yeah.
And first of all, I would like to address this blaming. That's so huge that you mentioned it, because basically many parts of the book tell you about this. When we are blaming situations or other people, we are giving our power away. So we are looking outside, we are ignoring inside. And I don't mean that in a way that you have to crush your head because what you did or what you feel or such. This is why empowerment has 4 pillars. It's self-leadership, so that you can recognize and become aware and start to regulate and even learn what regulation means. These are processes, and you cannot jump from one to another. So from awareness to conscious action, there is a big process in between, a journey of trials and lessons. And if you expect yourself to jump right to it, you will be disappointed, and you will need a lot of self-compassion to get yourself back in the game.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, so it's important to embrace the journey. It's important to embrace where we are. This is why mindfulness is important. We train it in different ways. And with it, we kind of learn how to be conscious. Because, human on average, it's conscious only 5% of the time. That means 95% of the day, you are running with unconscious, and unconscious is not bad. Many people just want to get rid of it, just like negative emotions, like they are told. No, we cannot. It's beneficial to us, but it's important to be aware of it and to learn how to reprogram
exactly
it. That it helps helps us. That it helps us, that it supports us, that it has empowered vision, not the victim vision we had once, that we believed we were powerless. And I believe that from experience, I can tell you some situations are easier than others. I always say try with the easy ones. May it be for boundaries, may it be for regulation, may it be for responses. Try with easy situations. With empowerment coaching, we are doing actually mental training, so that you are mentally rehearsing situation before you are even experiencing it. Because every intent, even if it's in imagination, it's building a wire. And if you embrace this and actually start to explore yourself, you will, with this approach, you will be gentle towards yourself, because you need to self-compassion to be mindfully curious. What is mindful curiosity? Being present and actually observe. Even if you judge, what am I judging? What are my thoughts about it? Okay. And even if we come to this, I judge myself for judging myself and judging, it can go on and on, but embrace it. Okay, I feel it. I'm judgmental. What now? What can I learn about this judgment? Because oftentimes it's all about ourselves. We judge others based on our programs.
Exactly. Our frame of reference.
And it's nothing wrong with it, and beating ourselves up for it, it's not a solution, because we didn't do it on purpose. We didn't get this on purpose, and it's not a easy way out to say, oh, I'm perfect, I don't have to do anything and I will be perfectly fine. It's not. It's creating, it's empowered action, it's actually improving day by day and working on it in a way that you are progressing, not regressing.
Amazing, Branka. Thank you so much for this. So are there final words that you want to leave us with today that we should take with us?
Embrace the human journey and love yourself.
Wow. Honestly, the human...
It says it all.
Yeah. It's all part of the journey, but you need to learn how to process it correctly. You are not a victim, you are a victor, and you are empowered, but you need to understand that the power is on your inside, not on the things that are outside of you. Because and I think we can also tie it to circle of influence and control. There are things that are within your control, there are things that are beyond your control. So the ones within you and your emotions and how you choose to respond or how you choose to react, that is within your control. So you control that, and I think every other thing will fall into place. Or what do you think, Branka?
Yeah, I totally agree. And it will be messy, just like it is now. It will be sometimes unpleasant, uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's a last thing and the last message I want to share, because many people don't know this, and it's so golden. It is talked a lot about this comfort zone and getting out of comfort zone. That you need to embrace this discomfort. And if you look at it from neuroscience perspective, it can be a lot easier for everyone to embrace this, because when we are stepping outside, it's again our survival mechanism shuts up, and we feel this discomfort because our ego and our brain are trying to get us back in the comfort lane. So if you want to grow, you need to understand this, embrace this, and get through it. And you will know, your conscious will know, it's discomfort, but I am learning new things, and it will be discomfortable for some time, and then I will be rocking it.
Wow. Bravo, Branka. I think that was really, really, really explosive. Ikechukwu, do you want to add anything? Thank you for hanging with us today. You can raise your hand if you want to make any contribution. I know you're a medical doctor. Are you there? And just indicate. Okay, I think Ikechukwu is shy. So, Branka, thank you so much for coming, and I really, really, really had a great time having this this cerebral discussion with you, and I think that was really explosive. So.
It was amazing food, and yeah, I'm grateful for it despite the technical issues that were.
Yeah.
I'm happy we did it, and I believe we can do it again in, I don't know, 2-3 months.
Yeah.
It will be amazing.
It would be amazing. This was really good. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was really, really good. It was really, really good. Thank you so much, Branka.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for
Enjoy
coming.
your Easter night.
And you too. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Branka. All right, everyone on Instagram. Thank you for joining me, and you saw me, and I hope you heard Branka's voice, because I know LinkedIn will not save this audio. Yeah, so use one stone to kill two birds. So guys, I hope you've had a really, really, really like a mind-blowing session, and you've enjoyed, listening to how to use your emotions to harness your power. And like we've said, your power is on your inside, not on the outside. So stop looking on external factors to give you power. It is from your inside. You generate the power from the inside. The frame of reference, your circle of influence, your circle of control. All of those things are the things that you need to be conscious of, and then you choose to respond and not react. Until next time, I am Abimbola Victoria Oliide, the voice of empowerment, encouragement, and mindshake. Thank you very much, and good night. And of course, happy Easter. Bye.